Brian Deese is apparently a hard man to get a hold of, so when the director of President Joe Biden's National Economic Council contacted Chrystia Freeland on February 10th, it was serious.
What was really striking to me was how quickly he got on the phone with me on that Thursday. It was instant. And while in some ways, that was, as a practical matter, that was good, but it gave me a measure of how worried the White House was about this.
The finance minister testifying that Canada's reputation was challenged once protesters began blockading the Ambassador Bridge. It happens to be the busiest trade route between the two countries.
This was so worrying to me because I could see, really for the first time ever, the Americans having this amber light flashing in Canada. And this amber light that said to them, you know what? The Canadian supply chain could be a vulnerability too.
The call was startling to Freeland, who was warned that if the blockade wasn't sorted in Windsor, it would shut down all of the U.S. northeastern car plants.
So that one conversation was a seminal one for me, and it was a moment when I realized, as a country, somehow, we had to find a way to bring this to an end.
And it wasn't just trade. Bank CEOs were calling Freeland, saying American investors thought the ongoing situation with the protests made Canada a joke.
I had one investor say, I won't invest another red cent in your banana republic in Canada.
When asked about that comment, Freeland became teary-eyed.
I had at that moment a very profound duty to Canadians to stand up for them. And I'm surprised that I'm getting emotional.
The minister also fielded questions about frozen accounts. Last week, the inquiry heard that approximately 280 bank accounts with approximately $8 million in assets were frozen due to the emergency measures.
I regret that that happened to those people. I really do. I would have preferred, it was a serious thing. I would have preferred not to have had to do this. But in my mind, I weigh that against what I really believe is the tens, hundreds of thousands of Canadian jobs and families that we protected.
3 of Prime Minister Trudeau's staff also testified, including Katie Telford, Trudeau's chief of staff, who highlighted the frustration with the Ford government refusing to come to the table.
Minister, want to let you know that the Ontario Solicitor General has again declined the invitation to attend the tripartite meeting today on the Ottawa occupation. You say, I think we need to shine a light on that.
It's bringing some attention to the fact that Ontario wasn't at the table, and we really did believe it would be a more efficient and effective way to work.
The government lawyer also showing documents from the RCMP expressing the possibility of keeping the Emergencies Act in place longer. The act was revoked 3 days after it was put in place.
It was extraordinarily important to the Prime Minister that he be true to what he set out in the beginning when he invoked the act, and that it wasn't going to last 1 minute longer than absolutely necessary. And so that was the entire motivation behind when the revocation happened.
The testimony today offering a rare glimpse into the inner workings of the Prime Minister's office. Trudeau is set to testify tomorrow on the inquiry's final day.